Hello dear friends, you are on the Melonfonk channel, and in this video we will talk about updates to the Melon Playground. For likes, subscriptions, and cool comments, I give out free melts. If you want to get over 1,000 mels absolutely for free, write your cool comment and enter your nickname. It's also a great chance to get into my video, and if you want your comment to be included in my next video, just write a comment. It's incredibly simple. Well, I won't waste your time anymore and enjoy watching it. This concept proposes to introduce a new system of calculation, or rather to increase the number of pixels per unit so that the mods turn out better and with a higher resolution. And I support this idea very well, as for me, it is very important for creating future content. It seems like a small thing, but it seems to me that it has been begging to be added to the game for a long time. I give 10 points to this concept. The next addition is a laser pointer for a pistol. To be honest, I would add this to each weapon or make it a separate item so that it can be combined and stacked with weapons. It would be great if the developers added more different gameplay items, such as butts or just weapons, so that we could complement, modify, and do something new with weapons, because what is currently in the game, as far as I'm concerned, is quite boring and needs to be improved. And so I think these improvements will benefit the game as a whole and the weapons very well. Also, I think a gun flashlight would look very good on a weapon in general. I think you also agree with me, because it really looks pretty nice. It's quite appropriate because there are currently no modifications for weapons as such a tab in the game, and I would be interested in looking at new flashlights, laser pointers, including butts, and so on. The next concept is a concept for adding character capture, meaning there will now be a feature where you can use one NPC to capture and capture another NPC. This is an interesting addition, both in terms of animation and gameplay changes, because it will positively affect the creation of new scenarios inside the game, because we very often just play and create some kind of new story, and this addition will help us use NPCs more variably to create stories. Yes, and overall it looks pretty funny. And I think you agree with me, and this is an interesting concept for me. The next concept is a concept for adding cases. Cases have been asking for a game for a very long time, as for me, and I created a very interesting video with the help of a neural network, where we see the discovery of new cases. Of course, nothing falls out there because I just didn't think of anything to add, but I think the videos turned out to be pretty creepy and funny. I really want cases to be added to the game. First of all, it is an opportunity to get adrenaline from excitement, because we always lack this. And excitement is primarily a hook for the player. And I think that with the help of excitement, the audience would have stayed in the game much longer, and this would only have a positive effect on the community. Write in the comments your examples of what would fall out in these cases, what items can be added there, and what, in principle, the player can win when opening this case. The next thing I would add to the game is a summary of statistics. I think it would be interesting for everyone if you just had a counter in order to count how many NPCs you killed, for example, and just put them on the map. The next thing I would add to the game is witch elixirs, that is, these are flasks with poison that repeat the staffs. As for me, this is also asking for a game. I think it would be funny in general. It's a good concept and a good idea that it has found its own implementation in the game. The next concept is a concept for a new physics in the game. And it seems to me that this should have been added to the game a long time ago, because really, what we have now is very bad, because when you dive into the water with the help of the same Jeep, it seems that the Jeep is completely enveloped and the air does not come out. And it would be great that the objects that keep the air for themselves, they kept it to the end and underwater. It would be very interesting and quite appropriate. Although, as for me, everything looks rather unnatural in the screenshot, because it seems as if the water disappears altogether, although this is absolutely not the case. This, of course, needs to be fixed somehow, it needs to be played with, and it needs to be fully implemented by the whole team. I hope that something like this will find its realization in the Endless Ocean. I think it's a very interesting idea. The blood could be redone, and it's quite an interesting idea. It will add physics, it will add immersion, and then in principle it would be a very cool new feature. The next thing that will be added 100% to the game is the save mods, and in general I'm really looking forward to this, because now, let's say, if you're creating a new vehicle and there are such craftsmen, then it's impossible to fully upload it to the workshop. But there are very talented authors who make very cool vehicles. And unfortunately, so far, this is not in the game, and the save mods would fix this problem. The developers are already officially creating save mods in the workshop itself, working on its implementation, so we can only wait here. And it seems to me that this is a very cool idea that diversifies the whole work in the workshop. Well, the last thing I would like to see in the game is a new transport that would be of a post-apocalyptic nature. It's a very cool idea as far as I'm concerned, and that's how it was implemented in this concept, and as far as I'm concerned, it's very interesting. It would be a very nice transport, which is ideal not only for the mechanics of the game, but also for the atmosphere as a whole, because it fits perfectly in the color scheme, as for me, just as it is necessary for the chalk playground, and in general, the chips in it would be interesting. For example, a machine on the roof, or a circular that it would be glued directly onto the hood of the car, which would quorum all the other NPCs in turn. It's a very cool idea. As for me, it's a very good implementation of this concept. I'll give the idea 10 points, because while there is no transport editor, I hope that the developers will add new transport. Well, this is the end of my video. Thanks for watching. Good luck to everyone. Bye to everyone. And remember, buddy, as always, see you in a few days.